Hey everyone, I'm trying out my first video and not quite sure how it's going to turn out, especially since my computer is not currently working. It seems to freeze up, so bear with me. It is late and I have been up for a while studying, so I figured I would answer a couple questions that I've been getting lately about the process of becoming an EMT. Just because there are some things that aren't clear and some advice people have been wanting, so bear with me. I'm not all here right now. So anyway, I went to school out in Orange County. Orange Coast College has, from what I've heard, one of the top EMT programs in the state. I believe that they are the top in the state. I was in a class starting of about 35 people, and that was the first day. Within the first day we lost about 50% of the class. I was, I think, one of 5 people that graduated, and I was also the youngest in the class. For those of you who are in fact taking the class, study a lot. It's not one of those classes that you can skate through. I mean, you probably can if you're a brilliant person, but I don't recommend it, especially since you will be dealing with people's lives. Let's see, this was the book that I used. Hope you can see it. Of course, you can see how thick it is. Not the funnest thing to lug around when you want to study. For those of you, if you don't have it, I recommend getting this book. It is a pocket reference for BLS providers with the 2005 AHA guidelines. I'll see if I can put a link down below in the information, at least with the ISBN number, but it's a great thing to have, fits in your pocket. I use it all the time, especially right now. Let's see, when you decide to take the class, when I went through, a lot of people came to the class with CPR cards. When you actually get CPR certified, make sure you have an AHA, American Heart Association CPR card. You cannot come to class with, for some reason they don't accept Red Cross, and it seems every program I've seen does not accept Red Cross. So make sure you have the American Heart Association, because more than likely they will turn you away. Even after you're certified, it has to be AHA, so make sure you do that. Let's see, by the time, once you've finished the class itself, you'll receive this wonderful little certificate of completion. Depending on the county you're in, Orange County has an additional course that you have to take for accreditation for the county. I believe Los Angeles County is the same way. Now granted, this is just for the state of California, specifically Southern California. I'm currently in Riverside, so I am lucky enough being in Riverside now to not have to need an accreditation. But anyway, after you graduate the class, take the NREMT exam as soon as you possibly can, because you'll be able to retain all the information you'll need fresh out of class. I was unfortunate. It was unfortunate that I had to wait, and I had to wait almost a whole year before I could actually take the exam. Luckily, I passed within the first try, but I studied my rear end off before I took the test, and it's just so much easier if you take it out the gate right when you're done with class. When you pass the National Registry, you'll get this wonderful little package in the email with your NREMT certificate, a letter that has a little card at the bottom that I believe you're supposed to carry with you, but I personally don't, because it's just too nice to, you know, bend and destroy. And you get this little patch, and there's an order form with a bunch of other things you can order. At that point, you cannot practice yet in the state. You have to go to the county office, and if you're in LA County, I believe, or at least Orange County, I know of for sure, you have to get a couple of different things. One, you have to get a state card and a county card, depending on the county. But state card is this little silver card. Depending on what office you go, it can range anywhere from $25 all the way up to $40. It just depends. The accreditation card, at least for Orange County, looks like this. Make sure it doesn't have any information on there. I don't want you guys to see. Also, if you plan on working for an ambulance company, you have to go to the DMV and take this wonderful little test. And if you take the ambulance test, steady. There is, I don't have it with me, but it's a blue, I believe it's blue. It's a blue book, probably about the size of, regular sheet of paper. But I think it costs like $5 at the DMV, and it has a picture of an ambulance on the front. Anyway, study everything in it. It asks the most ridiculous questions of how many feet till you can bring an ambulance to a stop, and it gets really into detail. So you'll have to do that. You'll also have to get a physical, and you have to carry this little card with you. It's a medical examiner's card. You also get, let me see if I have it with me. You also get a temporary, that is my ticket. Oops, my old ticket. You get a page that looks similar to this. It's a pink slip. And then there's a yellow sheet in the back. This is your temporary ambulance license. It is good for 180 days, and supposedly you're supposed to get something else in the mail, an actual card. So I have yet to receive it, so we'll see what happens. It's already been, I think, a month since I took this. Anyway, but if you were able to pass the class, and obviously be able to afford all these additional accreditations and licenses, it's awesome. Also, any additional classes you can take will benefit you immensely. Prior to being an EMT, I was actually certified as a phlebotomist, so I can legally draw blood. Not sure if that's going to be used in EMS, but it is worth getting, especially if you plan on going into nursing, because nurses only receive, I think, approximately 20 hours of blood draw. When it comes down to it, it's not enough time. Having had this certificate for a couple of years now, 20 hours is not enough time to become proficient in drawing blood. Let's see, when I did my my clinicals, there was a lot of weird things that happened, but like when you do your class, please pay attention to everything. Try to get in on everything you can. I was lucky enough to be asked if I wanted to assist in a code blue, which is, we had a patient I was in the emergency department, and we got a call from ICU, and this patient had gone into cardiac arrest. And if you have the chance to volunteer for things, do it, because I actually got to administer CPR on a patient and actually revived the patient, which from what I understand only happens about 17% of the time. So get every experience you can. Volunteer for things when you're doing your clinical rotations, depending on what school you go to. I think they're all pretty much set up very similar. So yeah, see if you can do that, and volunteer as much as you can. I've found that getting out into the workplace is a lot harder than they like to tell you when you're going through the course. A lot of emergency rooms right now are hiring people who have experience, and quite a few years experience. Same with ambulance companies, and they're wanting people with experience. So if you're able to find clinics or hospitals or anything around you that will take students and allow them to volunteer or even post students after your schooling's all done, if you're able to. I know there's a clinic here in down here in Orange County, or it would actually be north of me. There is a clinic in that area that does allow students to come in and practice and do things like that. So if you're able to do that, I highly recommend it, because it has been, I would say, almost a year now, and I am still looking for work. I have an interview next week, actually 2 interviews next week, and so that's why I'm hard at work studying. Of course, I've done a lot of volunteer work with my licenses, but so I do have the experience, but I highly recommend volunteer work. And let's see, I think I covered everything. I'm not 100% sure. If you guys have any questions, message me or post them in the comments below. We'll see how my first video goes. And I guess I'll see if I continue this. Thanks for bearing with me. It's late and I'm tired, and I look like I'm tired, so anyway, take care everyone. Good night.